Welcome to this explainer. You know, the next massive shift in artificial intelligence absolutely isn't about building a slightly better chatbot or an AI that writes your emails for you. No, it's about something much bigger, something that is literally keeping tech's brightest minds awake at night. We're talking about fundamentally revolutionizing how we actually do science.
I want you to picture this for a second. Imagine a world where AI doesn't just passively answer our questions, but actively creates its own scientific breakthroughs. We're talking about a system designing entirely novel therapeutics, discovering super resilient materials, or even engineering viable solutions for climate change. We are shifting from an AI of mere convenience to an engine of active, iterative scientific discovery.
Okay, let's dive right into this. To really understand that this isn't just some far-off science fiction, all you have to do is look at the money. Try a $750 million valuation. That massive figure belongs to a new startup spearheaded by Kevin Weil, who you might know as the ex-OpenAI Chief Product Officer. He's betting $750 million on transforming discovery itself. And fueling that massive valuation is a brand new $150 million funding round. Now, that kind of cash isn't just funding. It's a profound statement. It basically tells us that the AI industry, led by these former OpenAI elites, is finally pivoting. They are turning their immense resources away from optimizing engagement for social media likes and pointing them directly at solving massive, tangible, real-world problems. And this comparison perfectly illustrates why that pivot is happening right now. Look, traditional science is incredible, obviously, but it's inherently messy. It's nonlinear, involves years of painstakingly slow trial and error, and honestly, a lot of spilled coffee in the lab. Contrast that with an AI lab environment which can simulate mind-bendingly complex biological processes, like protein folding in mere seconds, with extreme accuracy. The technology has finally caught up to model our messy reality, and the speed is just terrifyingly exciting.
So, how exactly does this function day to day? Well, think of this technology as the ultimate hack for the scientific method. AI steps in as the ultimate lab assistant. It actively designs the experiments, crunches incredibly complex datasets, and predicts outcomes practically instantly. It's stepping in to do the heavy lifting at a scale and speed that human teams simply never could pull off on their own. 99%. Just let that scale of precision sink in for a second. These cutting-edge AI models are learning to predict chemical reactions with near-perfect accuracy. The implications for fields like drug discovery are absolutely staggering. A process that used to take decades of trial, error, and billions of wasted dollars could, theoretically, be streamlined into highly accurate predictions made in just a fraction of the time. But here is what really fascinates me about this whole landscape. This is not just a solo act by Kevin Weil. What we are witnessing right now is the starting gun of a massive billion-dollar race. Weil is definitely not the only tech giant chasing this highly lucrative dream of revolutionizing science. The stakes are immense, and the competitive landscape is rapidly filling up with some of the heaviest hitters in the entire history of Silicon Valley. So let's map out this industry race because the key players are all taking totally unique angles. You've got Weil's startup acting as a general AI lab assistant. But then there's Discovery Loop, led by Google's Jeff Dean, and they are targeting engineering and physics through advanced AI modeling. And then, get this, Periodic Labs is actually building autonomous labs with literal robot scientists doing the physical grunt work. It is literally a race to redefine what is scientifically possible. However, as with anything emerging from Silicon Valley, we have to pause and address the elephant in the room. Is this the real deal, or are we just looking at another massive tech hype cycle? Weil's pitch, and really the pitch of all his competitors, hinges on some incredibly bold assumptions about what AI can currently handle. We definitely need to inject a healthy dose of analytical caution into these monumental promises.
Because as the saying goes, data is the lifeblood of AI. Let's slow down for a second and really emphasize this existential hurdle. For any of these ambitious models to actually outperform human experts, they hinge entirely on gathering enough high-quality scientific data to train on. If the data is flawed, or if there simply isn't enough of it, this entire billion-dollar vision grinds to an absolute halt.
And that brings us right back to the messy reality of the physical world. Science is just full of constant edge cases, unexplained anomalies, and unrepeatable experiments that stump even the brightest human minds. So how does an AI, a system inherently built on recognizing established clean patterns, reliably handle a physical world that constantly throws curveballs?
Which leads directly to what we can call the confidence trap. And honestly, this is perhaps the biggest question of trust in this entire explainer.
What happens when a machine that we barely understand makes a prediction that is completely wrong, but delivers it with such overwhelming statistical confidence that scientists are too afraid to even question it? These aren't just technical bugs for developers to patch in an update. They are deep existential questions about how much trust we're willing to place in artificial intelligence when human lives might literally be on the line. But if, and yeah, it's a monumental if, these technical and existential hurdles are successfully cleared, we are looking at a total paradigm shift. AI transforms from merely being an advanced lab assistant into an actual co-author of human progress. We're talking about an entity that could stand shoulder to shoulder with human scientists to co-author breakthroughs that could literally save millions of lives or solve sweeping global crises.
So, what you should ultimately take away from this explainer is this. Whether Kevin Weil's startup becomes the next big thing or just ends up as a cautionary tale lost in the noise of overhyped startups, one thing is absolutely clear. AI is no longer just a tool for our convenience. It is rapidly evolving into a force that will reshape the very foundations of human progress and scientific discovery. The technology is here, the billions of dollars are heavily invested, and the race has officially begun. The only real question left to ask is, are we truly ready for that?